Mujebale, Mujebale, Mujebale. My name is Bani Kibuka, and this is the Ugandan Boy Talk Show. Welcome once again to the Ugandan Boy Talk Show. Today's guest is called Daniel Nyanzi, and Daniel Nyanzi happens to be one of my good friends. Our lives cross paths as we're going to be talking about it today. Nyanzi, can you say hi to our listeners?
Hello, listeners. All of you that listen to the Ugandan Boy Talk Show. This is Daniel Nyanzi. I'm also from Uganda, so this makes double the trouble, double the fun.
Yeah, that's right. I was just here thinking, and I was like, how did I become friends with this guy? Do you remember the first day we met?
Man, I remember that time. We were playing soccer against you guys. So
Yeah.
People don't know this, but you were going to Great Lakes, I was going to Grace, and those two schools are kind of rivals in soccer. In basketball, actually, the main, and then also soccer. So we were out there playing soccer. You came out there to play soccer at Grace. And I remember people were calling my name Nyanzi because no one at Grace called me Daniel, right? And I did not know. And you asked me, "Hey, are you from Uganda?" I was like, "Yeah, I'm from Uganda." You're like, "Hey, you actually talked in Uganda." You're like, "Wait, over Uganda?" Yeah. And I was like, and we are like the last 20 minutes of this soccer game, and the last 20 minutes, all we did was just talk in the field. That was pretty funny. And then we found out that you had crossed paths with my young brother. You had done some child evangelism fellowship with my brother back home. So that was pretty cool. And that's how we became friends.
Yeah, I remember that day very well because I think I was the only black guy in our team.
No, there was Zach.
Yeah, there was Zach. Yeah. So I remember the coach brought you in. I was like, oh man, this guy. And like I was just running from north to west. I was like, I'm gonna mark this guy.
Yeah.
So then we started like defending each other. I don't even know how to say it in English. Network wow. Guy, this guy might be coming from somewhere. And then I had people calling Nyanzi, Nyanzi. And then I was like, oh yeah, this guy is from Uganda. And yeah, I remember that very well. But that was a pretty crazy
That was a crazy way to encounter. Like that was a crazy way to cross paths. Because like that was a good way though. Like that's a good memorable way because I remember the game very well. Well, the game never turned out well for you guys.
man, don't even talk about that.
Talk about the game.
Don't even talk about my soccer history. But yeah, it was pretty funny. I was like, yeah, I can't wait to just talk about this part where we became friends. But yeah, now I know you are from Uganda and I'm from Uganda. Actually, from your name, what region are you from in Uganda?
So from my name, basically it's supposed to be coming from Central, but I was born by two lucky people. I'm actually lucky to be born by those two people who happen to be ministers, the pastors and stuff. So God called them to the western part of the country, and that's how we ended up going to the western part of the country. So my name is a Muganda name, but I grew up in Ankole. I speak Lunyankole. I'm a Muganda and a Munyankole. So I'm from the western part of Uganda.
Yeah, I got pretty confused about that because saying your name Nyanzi, and then I got to know that you're from the western part. I was like, how does this guy end up there? But that makes perfect sense. And now I know. Now, growing up in that area, how was your life growing up? Like,
man, my life growing up was as any normal Ugandan. Honestly, I was listening to your first podcast. You talking about your childhood. I was like, yo, we all have the same childhood, no matter how the parts where we live. They're just like different, right? So I grew up in a town, and you grew up in Sombara was a town. So grew up in town, and like how town is different. Like our games can be different, but I grew up in a family of actually 85 kids right now. My parents adopted kids. They have 5 of us biological. Then they went on and adopted 80 more kids. So I grew up in a big family. I'm a big family guy. But you can imagine living in a town and growing up in a big family. But yeah, having many siblings, so you know how much trouble and how much fun that could be.
Yeah, actually, that's crazy because my parents have 2 boys, me and my elder brother Benjamin, and they're also in ministry. And growing up, they were bringing up these girls that were orphans and abandoned. We started with 8 girls in our house, but now our church has a home for about 52 girls, and like those are all like my sisters. I know they're not biological, but that's pretty crazy that we have
That's amazing.
something in
That's
common like
amazing.
that.
Yeah, because also, so my parents started taking in all these kids when they had three of us, me and my two biological sisters, older sisters. But what happened? It took a turn whereby the government came and told my parents they can't have kids in a house, because we had a single room when my parents started taking in kids, and we happened to be 6 of us in just one single room. My parents were crazy. They never stopped because when my dad tells us his story, he's like, my dad grew up with a stepmom and he was tortured and stuff. So when he started ministry, he knew he can't give anything to these kids. Like, because my family wasn't well off. We weren't, you know how Uganda is. Like, you have a family of 3 kids. You're literally full-time pastor. It's not yet a payable job. So, but deep down inside my parents' house, they do have kind of similar story growing up. So they knew there's nothing they can do to these kids, and apart from giving them a place to call home, a roof. So that's what my family did. But the government came in and said, you cannot have these kids here unless it's an orphanage or something like that. So we got a free lawyer and said we can register our family as a ministry. So my parents registered our family as a ministry. But then the government came in like a month later when we were actually 32 people in 2 rooms and 32 kids in 2 bedrooms. So my parents never stopped. So the government came back and said, you cannot do this. You have to build a home for them. So that's how my parents started going on. And right now, my parents are taking care of over 2,000 plus kids. Yeah, we have 6 schools where all these kids go and have free education. God is providing for that. And then, essential needs. But in all these 2,000 plus kids, my family went on and adopted those 80 kids because those were the first 80 kids in the ministry. And the government was like, you can't have them, but you can adopt them. Like, that's why I was like, oh, right now we don't have any adoption rules. You can legal adopt them. So my parents started adopting them until they reached 80. And we were like, yo, you can't adopt anymore.
Yeah. Now, Nyanzi, before we forget, can you say your parents' name and just give them a shout out?
I'll give a shout out to my parents. My dad is Nyanzi Emmanuel. Most of them know him as Pastor Nyanzi Emmanuel in the Nyanzi, Pastor Emmy. Those could be the names. That's in Western part. Then my mom is called Sarah Nyanzi. That's a sweetheart. She's amazing. Yo, I have a best mom. She's known as Super Mom, and I agree she is.
And what's the name of the ministry that your parents
my parents are running a ministry called Parental Care Ministries Uganda, and that's based in the western side of the country. But they are overseeing 89 churches right now, and those churches are in Uganda or parts of Uganda. We do have a church in Kenya, churches that we're partnering with in Kenya, and we have churches in Rwanda that we're partnering with.
All right, that's super cool. And I like hearing such stories where people are going out there, especially in Africa. Like Africans also helping other people and knowing that there's a need. So I like things like that. Now, what's your best childhood memory? Like, is there something that you remember in your childhood?
This is gonna sound like a copycat, but like the games in childhood memory, like my favorite was the games we used to play, like Kakeve. Simaina with Sola Chita Muruzungu, but that Kakeve game we used to play. Should we just call it Katin? Katin, because the Kakeve is a tin, so we should just call it Katin. We used to play that game also for like years and years. For like, I'm just saying years, I'm exaggerating, but like we would start like in the morning at 10 and we would get in. I remember one time we got in trouble because of playing that game. We didn't do our chores at home, and you know, a black woman, you know, a black mom. So
I think every child in Uganda got in trouble for playing a lot.
We got what we deserved. And another thing that I really loved, you're a soccer player, so we played soccer. You know, like how mom would be like, you have to finish these chores before you do anything. But as soon as it hit 3:30, it doesn't matter if I'm down or not. I'm going to accept the punishment. I'm going to escape from home, go play soccer, and then come back home. That means the wali supper, no dinner. Until you finish the chores.
I think for me, I got in trouble a lot because I would find my friends playing soccer when I'm coming off school, and I wouldn't take my school shoes off, and I just kicking a soccer ball, and they will all get destroyed. And my parents would be like, "We just bought these shoes 2 weeks ago, and they're all."
They used to have this question: "Musamba mainja over."
Yeah, that's what all African parents will say.
But like there were more than just a game in those games. To be honest, it was more of a community. Because I remember like all these friends that I grew up with playing these games. I still have these friends. Like I haven't seen them in forever, but there is something that we shared a moment that I can actually talk to. Like it makes me feel at home. Like even now that talking about it, it makes me feel at home. Just remembering like, you know, how those games used to bring us together. And I don't think kids right now are still playing those games anymore.
No, I don't know. Kids these days, I think they're playing on their iPads and stuff.
Playing Xbox.
Yeah. But anyway, how did you all like celebrate your holidays? I think in my how did you celebrate holidays like Christmas and New Year's?
You're asking a guy who has a big family. All right, I'm gonna talk now. So Christmas. Let's talk about the holidays. Christmas, as you said, most of it was more family time and food, bro. Like food.
Food.
Meals that you haven't had like in months. Oh. So it starts with you going to church and, you know, going to church in the morning and then coming back home at 10. That's the only day church ends early on Christmas and Easter.
Right.
But that was really good. Like all my family comes. So like Christmas was all about like eating. We eat, have a full meal outside, not even inside the house. Like lay taps down, eat, and just enjoy that meal. Go in a food coma and then...
Yeah, I remember on Christmas, you go in a food coma and start doing push-ups, and then you go back for
food coma, go out there, do like a push-up, and then mom is going to be like, okay, all of you go take a run and then come back for seconds. And I'm like, we used to do too much. And then for New Year's, you know, back then fireworks were that expensive and stuff like that. So we also used to burn tires and like go out and go to the cornfields and get corns. Go to potato fields and like, you know, dig out some potatoes and like burn them. And if we were lucky, like probably go hunting. So I lived 30 minutes out the park. And we used to go with some of my friends to a national park. This was illegal. But we used to go to this park to just hunt something that we can burn for New Year's Eve, like make a barbecue or like make some, you know, muchomo and all that stuff. So that was our New Year's. And we like go around. And also I had Muslim friends. This is also
me too. I had a lot of Muslim friends.
Part of you know, holidays that we celebrate. You know how they celebrate Eid, right? We used to go around at night before Eid with jerry cans. Singing Echa Idi together Daku.
Now speaking of that, I remember I lived in Chibuli, and this is after I was actually grown. I was in Form 4. I lived with my friend Innocent in Chibuli, and we didn't have enough money, so we would go to the mosque to eat their rice. We'll just get dressed up in the kanzu and then go to the mosque
and eat their rice. On Eid, they don't really care as long as you're dressed nice, and then they call you Bonnie, and you say Nam. Don't say yes as long as you say Nam. Wait, I lived in a place that was full for Muslims. It was called Kakova in the western part, and we had like 6 mosques around us. So like all my friends were Muslims, most of them. I played soccer with Muslim friends. My first coach when I went to this academy that I played for, the one that helped me start my soccer career, was a Muslim. So like I've been around them for a while.
That's nice. Oh, actually, I'm gonna bring like some of my childhood friends who are Muslim. Some of them are now working in Dubai and all those different places. But those are like really cool memories that you treasure. Actually, I changed my name to Muzaffaru. So
Muzaffar, so you can eat.
They were calling me Muzaffaru, and that was my Muslim name, so I can just eat food. That was crazy. Now, how was your high school life like? Like, what's your best memory of high school?
Oh man, best memory of high school. Man, high school was fun. Not gonna lie. So I went to a non-Christian high school. My first 4 years of high school, and I must say the best part of it was Dabudanke. So I was, you know.
We called it tamak. Tamak.
Hey, you call him Tamak.
Tamak.
I call
Yeah,
him Tamak.
tamak.
Those dance,
Yeah.
the dance parties and events were the
Mm-hmm.
best in all.
Yeah.
I'm remembering, when I got there, I got in a group called Interact. Because I used to love how to dance. I was a dancer. I was a sports person. So like what it means in Uganda.
I was almost getting there because I've seen your TikTok dances and all those. Actually, people need to check out your TikTok.
Hey.
Can you tell our listeners your TikTok?
You want people to check out my TikTok? Y'all can check out my TikTok.
Yeah.
Nyanzi Daniel, that's my TikTok. Give me some photos. I'll make more dances. I'll dance.
Yeah,
my TikTok is
this guy. Yeah, this guy Nyanzi. You need to check out his TikTok. He's one of the greatest dancers I've ever seen. He has some of his friends that they make those dances. They're pretty cool.
Yeah, it's pretty. I love dancing. So yeah, I was in an Interact club, and so we're in charge of like organizing these dances for the school. And you know what it means when you're a soccer person in Kampala, because I went to Luvs, the one in Bengal. So like playing soccer. So it was fun for me. High school was fun because I used the best memory was just being able to like make the whole school happy. Like yeah, but that was for my 4 years, and then I had to go back to my parents' school because I did get expelled from that school. I did get expelled from school, so I had to go back to my parents' school because I had just started high school. So I went to my parents' school, and it was pretty fun to just feel like I'm home. And I went to school with most of my adopted siblings, so like to me, school felt like family until I went to my advanced level. And I had to go to a different school, and man, life started. I know you said life started in O level, but my life started in A level. Like when I had to decide what to study, these 4 subjects, and what to drop, and I had to know that I only have 2 years to determine what I want to do for the rest of my life when I go to college or something like that. So
it's pretty crazy that mine was the opposite. So my dad has a high school, Wakiso ISS, and I got expelled in senior 1 because they were like, "Oh, this director's kid, he doesn't respect anybody." So my dad had to transfer me to a different school.
It's crazy because that's kind of crazy because it's different. Like here is your dad has a school, right? You're there taking education, right? But the admin, everyone, they think, "Oh, this is a director's kid is gonna bring problem to us." You see, that mentality, this is gonna sound really rude, I really hate that mentality. And part of it the why I'm here actually in the US studying is to get I'm studying leadership right now. I really need to have like the leadership skills so that by the time I go back home, my plan is to go back home. I want to train leaders. We got resources, we got staff, but leaders have a different mentality because it happened to me. I went back to my dad's school. My brother was there, but we the biological kids of our parents, we got treated differently because this is our dad's school. These people think, oh, these kids are just gonna like, probably tell on us if we do anything wrong. They're going to, they're unruly. And there is one moment I'm proud of that I'm actually going to share right now because that's the past. I personally almost started a riot at my parents' school. You know the strike? Yeah, I did. Yeah, I did because it was insane. But that goes to like childhood stages of growth. But I think it's also more of how our leaders are brought up back home, and that channeled my drive because that was in my O level. Like seeing all that happen and knowing how things work in my country. When I went to A level, my focus changed to leadership. I wanted to be a leader, like a person who can show people the right thing to do, like use my talents to like help people out. Because I feel like people are just way too much focused on the small things. They're not playing the long-term game. And I feel like after college, that's why I want to teach people how to play a long-term game because it matters.
That would be really cool. Actually, mentioning about leadership, that's our country needs a lot of that even today. Like our leaders have a different mentality. But I was a leader in my high school. Actually, I was gonna tell you, like I became a prefect.
Okay, I was a head boy in my school. Too, bro. I was a head boy at my dad's school.
So there was one incident that happened. One day, the girls went to get breakfast, the porridge or uji.
I can see that.
So they took all the porridge from the kitchen, and when the guys came to get the porridge, it was all gone. So I led a strike
as a prefect.
As a prefect. So the next day, I woke up the boys like 10 minutes before breakfast time. So we went to the kitchen and took all the porridge that was there and we put out all the fire. So the girls never got
the girls
anything.
should not have anything to drink for breakfast. You guys will be.
Yeah, but we got in trouble, and we never did that again. But the girls did that first
The
to
girls
us,
never
so
get
we
in
were kind
trouble.
of like,
That's the other thing. Girls never get in trouble
they
in
did
high
it.
schools over there. It's always the boys. Like it's always us. Like I don't know. But
So Nyanzi, how was your transition, your journey from Uganda to the US? Like I know a lot happens,
yeah,
but like
so,
briefly, how was that transition? Was a culture shock?
honestly, it was. You know, a lot happens. Culture shock. The weather shock actually. So when I came here, I was going to Cornerstone. And I remember these were the culture shocks. First of all, time. We know how we struggle with time, Bonnie. We struggle with time. We're always 30 minutes late. We're always 5 minutes late. But hey, good news. I put that down to 5 minutes late. Now, if I'm gonna be late, I'm always 5 minutes late. But hey, so I struggled with time, and I did struggle with people speaking English every day. Every day. I'm like, yo, can we not speak any different language in this place? But they all speak English. And then also the meals, like my stomach took me almost a month to get used to the meals here and stuff like that.
Right. Yeah.
Also the meal time. I'm not used of having my dinner at 6 p.m. Like no, like even though that happened in high school, but that was too early. And then the other thing, my first snow day, I remember I lived with a family when I moved here. I lived with a family for a full year, and they never told me the day that snow was coming. I did not even know that I can sit on my phone and check, if tomorrow we're going to have snow. Like I was like, okay, I'm gonna just wait. They will let me know. I got up in the morning, got ready to go to school. I put on just my hoodie. I opened up the door, and it just hit me. It was cold. It's like how you go to a freezer and open a freezer like that fast. Yeah, I just went back because I was like, okay, I didn't.
This was Michigan, right?
Yeah, I came direct actually to Michigan. When
Okay.
I moved direct to Michigan. I moved to Grand Rapids. That's where I started my first years. And it was crazy. So that was a culture shock. That was a weather shock. There was a lot of culture differences, that I can't go in detail with, but like most of it was more of like, the weather, the meals, the time, punctuality, and the chat services, bro.
I like those because it's just 1 hour.
Those were so good. I was like, okay, I wish people back home can at least make church in an hour or something. But I do miss,
and the wedding.
I also do miss church though. Praise and worship here is good, but I love the dancing. I never stop dancing here. When I go to church, I would raise my hands up, I would dance, because it's all about what comes from within me and goes up to the Father. Like it's not about who is around me. Worship is a lifestyle. So it's a lifestyle I grew up in, and I gotta keep it.
Can you believe the churches in the United States that refuse people to raise their hands up? That's crazy.
Are you kidding me, bro? What churches are those?
Yeah, there are churches that you can't raise your hand, or like I don't know. There's some weird restrictions I find crazy.
That's some doctrine that is not okay. Like as a Bible student, that's not a doctrine. So for the weddings, by the way, I got a question for you. You're not interviewing me alone here. So tell me about your wedding. I know you married a woman here. Tell me about your wedding. Was it like our weddings, or was it the American wedding?
No, our wedding was the American wedding. It was actually pretty simple. Yeah. I think the ceremony took like 30 minutes. The ceremony was done, like with the plus and everything. Yeah, and then we went straight to the
reception.
But the funny thing is, we forgot to sign the marriage license, and the pastor was already back home at around like 10 p.m. And then we had to call the pastor back. He came, and then we signed the marriage license.
That is funny. That's a good way. That's a good. Yeah, but like weddings here, where I was just, to be honest, if I'm to have a wedding, it's gotta be an African wedding, because those it's a party. Like it's a party. We gotta party. Like we gotta go hard.
Yeah, but anyway, I mean I like the African weddings, but the only part I don't like is when the preacher takes like 2 hours.
This is what I'm gonna change on my wedding. The preacher, the church part, the whole church part is gotta be short. At least it's gotta be the max of it is gonna be an hour. But that's a lot.
Right.
The
Yeah.
max is gonna be 30 minutes. We're coming in, we're walking down the aisle. Pastor,
Yeah.
you're saying what you're supposed to say, and you're putting a ring because we want to get out of there and go.
We're almost like to the end of our show today. If you were in my shoes, I'm the one hosting this podcast, and is there any question that I didn't ask that you would want to tell our listeners?
Honestly, I don't know. I just like the way you hosted it, just like having it talk and talk, because you just struck a lot of memories in my head right now that actually are going to last all day today. Things that I'm going to be thinking about, things that I'm going to be sharing with people. I'm like, oh, I just remembered this. So I don't know. I wouldn't change anything.
Yeah, I actually like this conversation, and I feel like you're somebody that I'm gonna host again, because if we just start talking, we're gonna talk about like a lot of stuff, and I feel like I'm gonna have to have a part 2 for this conversation, and we just go crazy with the moment. But like the last 2 questions I usually ask people, especially people who grew up in Uganda, what is your take about our country's situation right now?
Honestly, we'll be real, my take, but I'll share my take right now. I am not happy with what is going on in our country right now, political wise, because we're having a leader who is not even paying attention to the people he's leading, and everything is going out of hand. My question is, who are you going to lead if all people are gone, if all people are killed under your order, under your rule? And I am for people power. I don't hesitate saying that. I go for Bobby Wine. The thing is, he said a statement that I enjoyed. Was he said something the other day and said, all regimes that are dictators, they start doing stuff like this when they're almost going. That thing, I agree with that, but that brought a lot of pain, because it brings a lot of insecurity to the people we have back home. What's going to happen? What happened in Libya? What happened in, all those countries? And that puts the people's life on the line. And our president is just seated and saying, hey, this is what we do. Yeah,
and that's the thing I don't really like. But again, I say this next time, like, I just want to see equality in our country, and I just want to see everybody treated the same. Now, Nyanzi,
I want to see equality. I want to see change. I want to see growth.
Yeah. What gets you excited about life?
What gets me excited about life? What gets me excited about life is having a purpose, to be honest. And having
yes, sir.
A purpose to live, it gets me excited, because that is the only thing that wakes me up in the morning, saying, hey, I got to get this done. And that gets me excited. And also what gets me really, really excited is that there is always a second chance in life. Like, there is always a second chance in life. There's nothing like I am done. It's always a mind game. When you feel like you're done, you're not done. God will never give you something you cannot handle. And sometimes that's true. Sometimes you feel like it's not true. But that gets me excited to know that I have a second chance. And anything that comes to me, there is always a plan to go through it.
Right. And just yesterday, I just shared a quote that says, every day above ground is a good day. So whenever you're above ground, that's why it's the greatest. So, yeah, Nyanzi, I appreciate your time, and I want to thank you very much for giving us this time to just talk with you. I can't wait till I can host you back here again, and we just go crazy and talk about different stuff.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Man.
All right. See you, brother. Stay safe.